If you haven't already watched part 1, make sure you click on this link.
All right, let's talk prerequisites for the back lever. We've got 4 main things you should be able to accomplish before starting the back lever. So the first thing is to be able to do a passive shoulder flexibility range of close to 90 degrees. And this is this range here. If you're sitting on the floor with your arms behind you, being able to get this range far back enough, and we'll show you what this looks like a little bit later on. But that range is pretty important because that's mimicking what will happen in a back lever. We want to mimic the back lever push. So I'm simply calling the second prerequisite the back lever push with stick. We'll be laying down on the ground, arms will be behind you holding a stick, and it'll provide some resistance so you can understand which muscles and how you should be pushing down when it comes to the back lever. The third item is a 15-second inverted hang. You need to be familiar with hanging upside down because that's typically the start position of the back lever. If you're uncomfortable, have not been introduced to that position before, that's why we want that to be a prerequisite because that's where the skill starts. Final is really the end position, the natural end point of a back lever, which is called the skin the cat or a German hang, where you'll be hanging at the bottom of the rings with the rings behind you in a shoulder stretch position. So a 15-second German hang or skin the cat hang is the 4th prerequisite. We want you to be able to do all 4 of these things before you start your training for the back lever. Our first prerequisite that we'll go over is for shoulder and pec flexibility, because you need a certain level of flexibility to do the back lever, and this is in regard to shaping the body well before actually doing it. So being able to do about a 90-degree shoulder stretch. So 90-degree meaning we would draw a line from here to there. And Blake here is shoulder width. That tends to be about what you'll be on the rings, maybe a little closer. Being able to do a 90-degree shoulder stretch like this will be our first prerequisite. Being able to hold this position for 30 seconds, shoulder width, 90 degrees is what you're shooting for. So what does this exercise do for you? Well, essentially it is a screening tool to see if you're able to get in the right position for the back lever. So if you're unable to go into this 90-degree shoulder stretch position, you'll need to spend more time on it and open this range up. We have other videos on shoulder mobility you can check out, but this is a screening to make sure you can get in the right position, because if you look at a back lever, the arms will be behind you and you have to have a certain level of flexibility to do a back lever in the first place. So next we want to show the back lever push to help simulate the skill before we do it. So we'll use a stick in this instance. We're going to simulate the whole push by laying flat on the ground first, and it'll be using a stick. So I'm going to be helping Blake find the stick. And what it'll do is exert pressure downward onto the stick. Now before we do this, I want to make sure that you are squeezing your triceps and lats together, and you're protracting the shoulders as well, which means they're pushing downwards towards the floor. So protraction of the shoulder in this direction, triceps and lats are squeezing each other, glutes are being squeezed, and then we're going to engage where Blake is trying to push downward on the stick with my resistance for 10 seconds. So he's pushing, he's breathing, and contracting all of these muscles. You should feel he's one body, one unit, and it's engaging the muscles we just spoke about. This prerequisite is called the back lever push with stick. So what will this do for you? Well, it will simply help train the neural pathway of what muscles need to be engaged when doing a back lever before actually doing the back lever. The back lever push with stick can be done as shown before, or we can even lower rings all the way down to the floor to simulate doing this on the actual rings. We have more variations on our TMA app that you can look at as well with bands, but the back lever push with stick will help you understand what muscles you need to engage before doing the actual back lever. Our third prerequisite is the 15-second inverted hang. You can start this first if you've never done this before with low rings, mat underneath of you because you will be upside down. You want to make sure you're familiar with being upside down because your orientation can feel very different. You don't know which way is up or down, and we want to make sure you have enough grip strength to be able to be in this initial position because this tends to be where the back lever can start for most people. So tucking up, straightening the body out, and then finishing with the head position. Notice that the legs are in between the cables. There's not much movement, and you want to be able to be still, comfortable, and in this straight body position. So this is what we're shooting for, 15-second hold, and that is beautiful. Excellent. And then coming back out, reverse the way you came back in, some kind of tuck or pull up to come back out. So that's what the inverted hang looks like. You want to make sure you can do this before entering into the back lever. And again, this can be with low rings. You can be spotted into this, but if you find that you're shaky, not straight body, or your grip strength isn't there yet, again, that's a warning sign that back lever, take a little bit of a pause. Let's make sure we can get hang upside down first. So that's our third prerequisite for you. So talking about the inverted hang again, we want to show you a couple of ways to get into it if this is a newer skill for you. So firstly, exerting downward pressure on the rings is first, and we'll get into a tucked body just to hang upside down first. So, and this can even be more tucked, so the knees can be even close to the chest, just getting comfortable upside down. Then we can open the body up a little bit and find the straps or the cables next to you for balance. And again, can be slowly opening, curled up, find the cables, getting more straight body. You can wrap your feet different ways for more stability or less stability, but finding this first, and then eventually closing the feet together when you feel that you have it. And again, if you're getting wobbly, you can find the cables again to stable yourself. So these are a couple of backtracked ways to get into the inverted hang if this is purely new for you. And again, lower rings where your head can fit above the ground will be key if you're new at this. And again, if you have a spotter that can help still you into this if they are qualified. So what will this prerequisite do for you? Well, the inverted hang will ensure that you're comfortable upside down, have enough grip strength to get into the back lever, and you'll get more familiar with being upside down because your orientation can be confusing and feel quite different when in this position. The inverted hang is often the starting point for a back lever. So when we get into the actual skill, we will start into the inverted hang or maybe a piked version of it, slowly enter into the back lever. So this is why it's key to have this prerequisite before going into the back lever. So all of these prerequisites can be done in relation to training the back lever on the bar itself. Now, if you are doing the inverted hang on a bar, it is far more difficult than on the rings because your body is one way or the other past the tipping point, and you'll notice that you have to engage a lot more muscles compared to being neutral. When you're inside the rings and between the straps, you can be vertical, and then if you're on the bar, your legs and hips really have to be on one side or the other. So the inverted hang on the bar is definitely more difficult, so I just wanted to give you a note about that. The last prerequisite that we want you to be able to do before training the back lever is the German hang or the skin the cat. So we'll show you an easy way to get into this if it's new. So right now we have an elevated platform so we can go into this right from the standing position. So Blake will show how you can just circle around the arms behind you and slowly start to get into more of the stretch position. So the more he bends his legs, the more of a stretch he's feeling in this German hang or skin the cat as we call it. So again, you can see how much there's a shoulder stretch happening here, similar to how we were sitting down on the floor. And you should be able to engage the shoulders a little bit, the scapula squeeze together in the back. You should be able to breathe in this position, okay? So this is the introductory, simpler way to get into the skin the cat. We'll show you one more of what the full extension version looks like. The alternate way is circling in from this tuck position. I'll just give you a little bit of a still. And now we're at full extension, heads forwards, the hips are mostly open and hanging. We want you to be able to hold one of these positions for 15 seconds, be able to breathe here. If you're maxing out and it's difficult, back the intensity a little bit. But this is an important position to have because this is often the end point of a back lever. So when you're in the back lever and you're to exhaustion and you need to come down, it'll often lower into the skin the cat. If you're not familiar with it, You might fall into it too fast, hurt the shoulders. Again, this is the natural endpoint for most back levers. You need to be able to get your legs under you to land back on your feet. Starting with a higher up position with a platform, great way to do this, but this is the 15-second skin the cat or German hang prerequisite. We'll talk about ways of getting out of the skin the cat or German hang. So the first one, we'll just simply let go of the ring. So if we're in the hang and just getting the feet under you, letting go of the rings, especially if you're in trouble and need to dismount, make sure your feet are under you, let go of the rings. The lower you are, the easier this is going to be. And so it's not so much of a high fall from the top. The other version is reversing the action back out again. This takes a lot more strength, but if you tuck up and come back out the way you came, this turns into more of our progressions of levers, but if you already have the strength, it's a perfectly good exit from the German hang skin the cat position. So those are two safety items of getting out of the skin the cat. And that wraps up our video on the prerequisites for the back lever. Thanks for watching. So let us know if there's anything that you got stuck on or need help further with. So comment below in the comment section on how we can help you further. And if you want to learn the back lever, we created a free calisthenics fitness assessment. And what this will do is it'll help you find out exactly where you are in your pathway of calisthenics mastery. It'll help create personalized workouts for you. It'll help you achieve your goals faster. So we want everyone to have access to this regardless of their budget and location. So as long as you have internet, you'll be able to take control of your fitness program. So click below for the free assessment tool.